Just waiting.
Do you know, are they all
All right,
18
I think
over or
we
some
are
younger?
live. Hi guys, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from today. I'm Jeremy with Made Management, and I'm excited to be with you guys today. I have a special guest with me today. I think he's the hardest working guy in show business. He's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Philip Marcus. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody.
And remind me, what's your
So,
Venmo?
you like that intro?
That was a good intro. That was very nice. I like that. Hello, everyone,
So,
and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are.
so Philip, tell me, where are you joining us from today?
So I'm in Studio City, which bigger picture is Los Angeles, California.
Very nice. And tell us who you are. Who do you work for, and how long have you worked for them?
So I'm the director of the Young People's Department at Clear Talent Group. We're a full-service talent agency. This coming April, so 2 months, will be 15 years I've been here. And then I had 13 years at a previous agency. So do the quick math. I'm coming up on 28 years doing this. We call young people, we go ages 3 to like early 20s. It's not so much a date of birth issue. It's, you could be much older than 18 and still look 18. And then some people are 18 and look 30. So like if you look college, university age, you're looking 18 to 21, 22, great. When the time comes that you truly look like a full-on adult, we have adult departments for everything: TV, film, theater, dance, print, you name it.
Nice. So would I be considered young person then if I was your client?
Probably adult department. You got the facial hair going. No one thinks you're in high school unless if you're one of those, got left behind many years in high school. But time for the adult departments.
Got it. Very good. So you've worked in that department. Have you worked there your whole time that you were with
Yeah,
this company?
yeah.
Okay. Nice.
And I did
So
the same thing at the previous agency. I moved here April 2010, but the years before, same thing. So I've always worked with like kids 3 to like 20, 21, 22-ish.
okay. Very cool. So you've always worked in that area, that niche
Yeah.
of age group. And how did you get started as an agent? What caused you when you were
Um,
19 years old to get started?
completely by accident, as most people have a story to tell. I went to college, University of Florida, had a degree in hotel management, moved to California for hotel management, had job interviews lined up, just interviews at different hotels, bed and breakfast, Santa Monica, Newport Beach, up and down the coast. Friend of mine was the receptionist at another agency, and I'd only been in LA about 2.5 weeks, so I was still like in travel mode and touristy mode. Hey, and she said they're looking for an assistant in what they call the young people's department. Do you want to meet them? And I laughed because to me it's like saying, do you want to be an astronaut? Fill out this application. I'm like, I have zero experience, knowledge. What? She's like, you're not doing anything else. You have job interviews lined up. Do you want to meet them? Had a meeting on Tuesday. They called me about 4 or 5 hours later. Can you start tomorrow? So I literally
Wow.
started I go, this is not what I expected, but this is an adventure. I literally started work the very next day, Wednesday. I worked with the same the two ladies that hired me. I worked with them for 25 years till they retired.
Wow, that's
Same
amazing.
people. Yeah. So when I
Nice.
moved here in 2010, all 3 agents, we all moved as a group over here.
Very cool. And
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 now they're
originally
retired and I keep in touch.
originally where were you from?
I grew up in New York. Oh, this accent? grew up in New York, first 18 years, and then college, University of Florida in Gainesville. And then moved out here summer in 97.
Okay. So got to LA and instantly became working for an agent.
Literally, I was in LA literally 2.5 weeks. I moved out here mid-August and started like September 5th.
Nice.
So the
And
dates.
obviously they saw something in you that they liked, working in the service industry as an agent, you're having to service clients, right? So
I've had experience in the past just working with kids, and I could work, just from previous summer jobs, things like that. I could talk to a 3-year-old at their level. I could talk to a 20-year-old at their level. It's a whole different conversation. I get along fine with parents. I always love the entertainment industry, but never in my wildest dreams grew up in New York. It didn't even cross my mind that you could do something as a job. It was like, I like TV. I like movies like anyone else, I mean, back in the day, I'd read Entertainment Weekly, that kind of thing. It's just a fan of. But when we had the meeting, the two ladies and myself, we just clicked. It was a really good meeting. And we spent probably 3/4 of the meeting just talking about our personal stuff. Who are you married? Where you from? Where did you grow up? How did you get? We really didn't talk much about the industry that much, truthfully. It didn't come up as much. But like I said, I've worked with kids and teens in the past, so we just had a good fit, and even day one, I'm like, all right, I've never dealt with like a phone that has multiple lines. Like, what do you mean put someone on hold and pick up the second line? Like, I was truly disconnecting people left and right. And I look at her and go, oh, they're gone. Like, who was it? I go, I don't know. I'm thinking this isn't going to work, but it did very, very quickly. I mean, it didn't take long for me to realize it's not a job. This will be a career. Like, I'm going to do this the rest of my life.
Nice. Well, obviously you're still at it. So you have a love and a passion for it. And obviously it shows too in your work ethic. I know it's funny because you're the one guy that I see everywhere. Right. And if anybody needs something, you're the guy that I know to go to to get that need. I've seen you in several places. I mean, I don't remember the last time we were together personally. I think it might have been this summer in Florida at an event, but I know that I've been at multiple events all around, and you're always there.
We learned many years ago, talent's not born and raised in LA. That's pretty narrow-minded, pigeonholed. If you're like, I'm only going to look at talent born in LA, that's crazy. Ironically, COVID, which across the board, we all know COVID stinks, but there are, for actors, especially those like all of you that don't live in LA, all of you that are starting out, there's some good things that happened because of COVID. Pre-COVID, everything was in person. You had to be in LA, physically walk into an office at 4:00, see someone face to face. COVID hit, the world changed. We all had to adapt. We all learned what Zoom is. What are we doing right now? 6 years ago, we didn't know what Zoom was, let alone using it. I never heard of it. COVID taught us Zoom. Like everyone else, the industry is like, oh, we can't have a waiting room with 100 people cramped into it. Nobody wants to do that ever again. So they adapted. They said, all right, we're going to do self-tapes. So we'll email you the material to the agents. Agents email the material to your clients. You have 2 or 3 days, work in the scene, do a self-tape, send it in. Casting looks at the self-tape. They like what they see. They go, oh, okay, we want to meet this person now because we don't know if you're shy and quiet. You might be loud and obnoxious. We don't know anything about you, but we like the self-tape. So they're doing Zoom callbacks. Well, if they're doing self-tapes and they're doing Zoom callbacks, do you have to be born and raised in LA? No. You could literally be anywhere on the planet as long as you have internet access for a Zoom callback. So I don't care if you live in Alaska or Key West, Florida, or up in Maine or in the middle of Nebraska. You can still be in this business. If you really are serious and hungry about it, you still have to follow through and do everything that's necessary. But you don't have to physically be in LA. Those days are over. So we learned this, even prior, we'd have clients that lived in different parts of the country, but they would physically move to LA for like 2 or 3 months, get an apartment, drive their car or rent a car out here, spend 2 or 3 months trying to go out on anything and everything they're right for. And then they'd go home and they'd be sort of back to whatever you could do locally. But as I said, since COVID, that's changed. So I've had talent, literally brand new talent, where their resume was nothing more than training, skills, maybe a school play. Brand new, and book a series regular role. Brand new. They're nice. Talented. Just because you're brand new doesn't mean you're talented. You're not talented. It just means you haven't had the opportunities yet. But if casting's open to seeing self-tapes, they can see many, many, many self-tapes quickly than in-person meetings. So I can reach out to casting saying, this person is brand new. You don't know who they are. Trust me. And it sounds like a used car salesman, but I will never say trust me to casting and then send completely the wrong person. Or if somebody's like, they're new but in their potential, but they're not ready to be like the lead role in a major feature film. They're not ready. They're not at that stage yet. They have the experience to carry that. I'm not going to put them in that awkward position, tell casting, trust me, they're perfect. They're not. But sometimes something comes out and go, oh my God, casting, you're missing out. You can stop searching because I have the right person. This person's going to book it. I'm telling you, trust me, see them. And they're like, yeah, we will. Because I'm not saying, trust me, I have 20 people that are right for this role. I'm saying, trust me, I have one, maybe two that are really right if you're not sure exactly what you're looking for. But bigger picture is we're scouting because I said, once you hit 18, nobody cares if you're 18 or 118. You're an adult. Nobody needs to know date of birth. You don't brag. I'm 34 years old. That's not helping you. You're all over 18. But if you're under 18, California labor laws, I won't bore you to death, but there's rules, there's regulations. So we do keep like a birthday list where like every month we update it. So, January 1st, everyone has a birthday in January. The 6-year-old moves to 7, the 12-year-old to 13. Once you're 18 and over, we literally have a list that just says 18 and over. We don't have to worry about updating it. Oh, now you're 19, now you're 20. It doesn't matter. You're over 18. With that said, very quickly, that 4-year-old turns 5 and that 15-year-old turns 16. And you look at our client list 3 months in the past or look at it 3 months in the future, it's always evolving. It's constantly changing. So literally 1 month, I'm like, I don't need an 8-year-old Caucasian boy. I got plenty. But 3-4 months later, a bunch of those 8-year-olds turned 9. None of the 7-year-olds turned 8. And I go, oh my God, I don't have a single 8-year-old Caucasian boy because the 3 or 4 of them, they've grown up. So it's always this. So therefore, we're scouting where, if there's acting schools, if there's conventions, I don't care if it's, Orlando, Florida, Chicago, New York, Boston, Seattle, wherever it may be, talent's out there. We know that. So we're constantly scouting and looking for, new faces.
Nice. And what is the youngest client that you've ever had?
3 years old. We've had some people try to like years ago, everyone's like, oh, babies. I'm like, nothing against babies. Babies are great. But in this industry, it's a nightmare because usually they want identical twins or even better. How about identical triplets? Not easy to find. Babies have very, very strict rules. I mean, crazy strict rules. They're to protect babies. As a parent, you're not going to have your 6-month-old on a set working 8 hours. No, a baby can work like 20 minutes. It's really insane. And so that's why they want twins. They want triplets. Single babies rarely get to book jobs. And with babies, you never know. It's time to film. The baby's like, I'm taking a nap. It's time to film. I think now's the time to cry because I'm hungry. It's a baby. There's a lot of trouble with it, So we tried it years ago. We did it for like a year or so. We went, this is crazy. We're going nowhere fast. It's just not happening. So we said, let's just do 3 years old. When you hit 3, we're open. I've had 3-year-olds walk into the room more confident than a 20-year-old. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like in shock because we'll bring the parents in with the 3-year-old. And the 3-year-old's like, I got this. Mom, you wait over there. I'm like, okay. And we'll leave the door open, but mom will sit outside in the waiting room. And the 3-year-old's talking to us literally like they're interviewing for college. We're like, are you kidding me? Sometimes we'll have a 9-year-old that comes in. They're so shy. They're just, they're like mentally hiding under the couch. You can't get more than a 1-word answer out of them. Yes or no. You just never know. People surprise you in all sorts of ways. Right. I have a 12-year-old girl. She graduated from college last May.
Wow.
She's
12. At age 12?
12.
That's amazing.
Super genius beyond. And as smart as she is and is like just whipped through high school like it was nothing, graduated college 12, she's still insanely grounded. She's like, she still loves Taylor Swift concerts. She loves anime. She loves to do jazz and hip hop dance classes. She's an actress. She's doing everything. She's just super genius. I'm like, okay. There's all different types of people out there.
Nice. So 12 years old and graduating from college.
To me, I'm like, I can't wrap my head around that because I'm like, you can't drive. You can't. So it's not, now what? So she got a college degree. She's like, I might get my master's degree, but I'm taking some time off. I just want to do like fun type class. Like she always wants to learn. Right. So she's like, I think I'll learn a new language. So she's like learning a new language. She wants to take this type of sports or dance or whatever type of hobbies where there's instruction involved. She's training left and right. She still takes acting classes and auditions like everyone else is.
We should all aspire to be like her, always learning, crazy. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing. How do you feel about the new format? Do you like the fact, I mean, you said COVID changed everything, self-tapes and actors can now,
Yeah.
audition from the middle of nowhere. Do you like that new format? Is that something that
I
as
mean,
an
there's
agent?
pros and cons because selfishly, and I'm saying it right now, being totally honest, selfishly, the old way, I would submit, casting would say, all right, we're going to see this person at 4 o'clock and we're going to see that person at 4:30. I'd email all the information out. The actors or the parents of the actors would confirm the audition. And for the most part, my part was kind of done for that first step, meaning they'd go to the audition, everything's great. If they get a call back, we move to the next step. But I'm done, we move on. Now, because not almost, everything, it's not 99%, it's like 100% of TV and film are self-tapes. I have to watch every single self-tape myself. Even if I'm tired, even if it's Saturday morning at 7 a.m., even if it's, Christmas Eve, whatever. If there's a self-tape for that one time, I decide I don't have time for this. I'm not going to look at it. And I send that self-tape to casting and something's wrong. either there's a technical glitch, there's no sound. I've gotten tapes like I can't hear it, there's no sound. It's a glitch with the computer. Send it to me again. Or this is the tape I'm getting. Hi, my name is. I'm like, can you imagine as a casting director watching someone's audition like this? It's freaking, hello. Or technically it looks great, but you thought this was a serious drama, and it's actually a Nickelodeon comedy with a pie in the face goofball attitude, but you performed it like you're at a funeral. You completely missed the mark. Well, if I don't look at it first and sort of be the gatekeeper, and I blindly send it to casting, then they're looking like, Philip, why are you wasting my time? Did you not, and first reaction, did you not look at the self-tape? Did you not see that like the head is chopped off, or there's no sound, or they filmed it in front of a window and you see the dog chasing a squirrel up the tree. I'm looking at the window behind it. And what are you going to say? Oh yeah, I saw that, but I sent it to you anyway. So no, we have to watch every self-tape. Think about every project, how many actors across the board, how many auditions. I mean, I probably look at easily 100 self-tapes a week without blinking, and I have to watch them. And if there is it's rare, but if there is a problem, at least I can reach out to you and say, all right, this is what the problem is. If we send this to casting, not only are you not going any further, you're not getting a call back, but it's actually going to make you look bad. They don't keep a naughty list. It's not like you're going to get blacklisted. But if a week later I submit you another project, they might go, yeah, I remember that person. I saw the self-tape. Yeah, nah, no, thank you. So downsides, and I keep saying selfish, I have to watch every self-tape. On the positive, though, same situation on the positive. Previously, before COVID, when it was in person, theatrically, realistically, they could only see maybe 6 actors an hour. Because if you're doing a 4 or 5 page scene and casting might want to redirect you, you can't go in every minute or every 2 minutes. So it's maybe 4 o'clock, 4:10, 20, 30, 40, right? If you do 6 an hour, and for kids under 18, they have to do it after school hours. So we're talking roughly like 3 to 7, give or take. Usually by 7 o'clock, they're done. They're not going into the evening. Quick math, 6 an hour, 4 hours, that's 24 actors they can see in one afternoon for that one role. Are they going to see someone that I submit that's brand new, just starting out, no resume, no credits, they're not a member of SAG, or they're going to see the hundreds and hundreds of other submissions where they are SAG and they do have 5-6 years worth of credits? So it was really, really hard for us previously to get new talent to be seen theatrically when they're not SAG. More times than not, they would wind up joining SAG by booking a SAG commercial because they're a lot more open to non-union talent. Fast forward now, it's all self-tapes. As I said, I'm watching our clients' self-tapes all the time before I'm uploading them to casting. Casting can watch many, 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 many self-tapes. So I now am in a position since COVID that I can reach out to them and say, this person is brand new. This person doesn't have a resume. I just saw them at the ABC National Convention, and they got 50 callbacks from agents and managers all over the country, and they took first place in monologues. And trust me, the used car salesman, right? Trust me, give this person a chance, and you're going to say, oh my God, years from now, you're going to look back and say, I discovered this person and put them in that TV show. Trust me, I guarantee you're going to love them. Even if you wind up hiring someone that's totally different, and it can happen. You have the best audition of your life. Surprise, they hired a Japanese guy, and you're African American. Surprise, they hired someone taller, shorter, chubbier, skinnier, redhead instead of blonde. I mean, whatever. But you gave a really good audition, they're going to remember you again and again. So because of the volume and the amount of self-tapes, certainly the last 5 years or whatever, since COVID, I've been able to get talent that's brand new, just starting out. I mean, I kid you not, we met someone on Wednesday in our office, lives in LA, but we met him Wednesday. Afterwards, Wednesday, sent him an email. Really good. We like you. We want to work with you. Email back. Great. I love you guys. I want to work with you. I said, wonderful. Get your materials up at these casting sites. Here's like a welcome packet with a starter thing. Do this ASAP. So he did. He got everything, got headshots, resumes, the account set up. Last night, 10 o'clock at night, I emailed casting because they put out some auditions. I emailed casting saying, I got a brand new guy. Trust me. They said, okay. 2 minutes later, I reached out and said, it's a national network commercial. Nice, sad commercial, T-Mobile. You can make some big money off this. Do it. He's like, I just got the account on Thursday. I'm like, yes, it's Friday night. Get busy. Because we're working all the time. We're always working. He's brand new. His resume is pretty much training, special skills, but he's the right person for the role. I'm like, he can absolutely book this role. There's no question about it. I'm not saying there's no one else in the world that couldn't, but he could. He's right. I'm not trying to take the square peg and cram it into a round hole. It fits, So our job is to get opportunities. Well, since COVID of the self-tapes, the plus side is we're able to get way more theatrical auditions for new talent than we were before COVID. The other thing I said earlier is before COVID, everything was in person. So even the talent that we represented that lived in other parts of the United States, they would physically have to come to LA for a period of time, whatever worked, 3 months, 4 months, get an apartment, have a car, be able to drive around. It cost a lot of money just for the opportunity to audition in person. As I said, now, because it's Zoom callbacks, I have people in Florida, I have people in Massachusetts, I have people up in Seattle. They're auditioning left and right. They're getting auditions for TV roles, movie roles, filming all over the place. So I don't mind that I have to look at all the self-tapes because the pros certainly outweighs the con that we're getting way more auditions for new people than we would have beforehand. And casting seems to have adjusted. Like everyone's like, will it ever go back? I'm like, casting doesn't want a waiting room of 100 people crammed in there because there's always one person sneezing or coughing. And the whole room's like, they're freaked out. They don't want that anymore. They love this idea. They've adjusted and learned how to use Zoom, how to interact with people, other actors on a Zoom call. They understood how to work a self-tape, that here's the camera. Forget everything else. Just work that camera. Use your imagination of where the other actor is. But it's a different way of doing things. But everyone on both sides of the camera have adjusted. Actors, casting directors, agents. In the long run, it gives opportunities that weren't there beforehand. So I think it's more pro.
So the one thing that casting doesn't want to go back to, because they can now sit on the beach, open their laptop and work.
And I tell people, I said, let's be honest. They could lie in bed in the morning, the alarm goes off, whatever time they want to get up, because they don't need to be in an office 9 to 5. They can do whatever works for them. Literally have a laptop, flip it open, watch 5, 6, 10 self-tapes in a row before they even got out of bed. Get up, brush your teeth, shower, get dressed, have a cup of coffee. Maybe they're going to their office. Maybe they're sitting on their couch in their living room. Laptop, watch more self-tape. They can watch many, hundreds they can see in one day and zip through. And they know very quickly, they don't even have to watch the entire self-tape. They can watch 20, 30 seconds and go, yeah, this guy's great. He's getting a callback. Love him. You've impressed them like that. I tell everyone, even those who don't live in the United States, because every country has their version of, we call it America's Got Talent, right? Every country, Australia, Japan, United Kingdom, you all have your version of like televised talent shows. And the judges sit there and they bring out the talent. What are you going to do? And the talent's like, I'm a comedian. I'm a juggler. I'm a singer. I'm going to do silks and aerials and flip around on a trapeze. And we at home, of course we are judging them mentally, right? When someone comes on and performs, or The Voice, or American Idol, all the singers, right? You're at home judging them. As soon as they start, performing in 3, 2, 1, go, and they start whatever they're doing, how in your mind, how long before you're like, love you, ooh, hate you, right? 10 seconds, 15
Right.
seconds, if you're generous, immediately go, that guy can sing. He's great. Oh God, no, my ears are bleeding. Get him off the stage. Casting, same thing. They know very quickly. And they don't even have to watch the whole self-tape to say, we love you, you're getting a call back, or nah, that's not what we're looking for. Whatever it is they're looking for. And sometimes, casting's at the mercy of the director or the producer. So sometimes they don't know what they want. They're like, we need a girl 16 to 18 years old. Okay, what ethnicity? We're open. Any ethnicity. Okay, give us the description of the character. Is she very into sports? Is she very into gossip? Is she shy? Is she mean? Is she all about fashion and trends? Is she like, the anarchist that doesn't care about school? What's her deal? Give us as much info so as agents, we're submitting the right talent that can play these roles. Sometimes it's very, very vague and they don't know. Other times the character description is so specific, I'm searching, and I'm like, as much as I want to work in this, I don't have a single person that fits that description. And sometimes it's, it might be a skill set. You need to be fluent Korean and ice skater. Okay. Someone out there is jumping up and down like, I can do that. Maybe I don't have that person. Sometimes it's literally, we need a 16 to 18-year-old female. That's it. I'm like, well, that's everybody. I mean, literally everyone that can play that. Could you be 19 and 20 and play that? Yes. So there's wiggle room there age-wise, but they don't know what they want. And you, as I said earlier, you can have the best audition in your life. Casting's like, man, she's really good. They're making their own separate notes, their own database. They're saving the audition for a rainy day because they like you. But at the end, they wound up hiring an East Indian girl. Sorry, everybody else. They decided to go East Indian. It wasn't specific to the role, but you did a great job. I submit you a week later, like, oh yeah, we love her. Yeah, absolutely, we want to see her. Icing in the cake. Occasionally, casting will email me and saying requesting. Oh my God, that's the greatest thing in the world. Castings email me requesting, I want to see actors A, B, and C. Here's the material. We're putting a breakdown out tomorrow, but we're getting a jump start. They're on our short list. We love them. Have them start working and send in a self-tape. Like, okay, this is great. Casting knows you. You've made an impression. So it changes a lot.
So you've worked with a lot of people over the few years you've been in the business, right? Who is your number one client? Like who is it that you book the most?
Well, Rica Rodriguez, he was Manny on Modern Family, so that blew up. His sister Rainey Rodriguez, she was on the Disney show Austin and Ally, and she was in the Paul Blart Mall Cop movies. She's actually been doing a lot of voiceovers. So on Netflix, there's a Jurassic Park cartoon series. It's been on, I think, 5 seasons now, 5 years. It was supposed to go 1 year, and it was like a filler because they knew like the following summer, the new Jurassic Park movie's coming out. There's like 2 movies ago. And they came up with this cartoon series that takes place in the same time period as Jurassic Park movies. So while you were watching the movie over here, this storyline was also happening here on the island with these teenagers. And the animation's great. It's very Pixar, computer generated imagery, but it looks beautiful. It was supposed to go 1 season, but the ratings went through the roof and they went, we're onto something here. And literally she just recorded this past Wednesday. They're in season 5. So Their brother and sister, small little town in Texas. I mean, a little tiny town. Came out here almost, I think it was like 19, 20 years ago to a convention. Met them at a convention. Ironically, Rico was a little shy and bashful, wasn't 100% ready yet. He was a little, his sister Rainey was like, I got this. She was just like the loveliest type of diva you could imagine. Like she's ready to take over the world. She can sing, she can dance, she's funny, she'll tell jokes. She wants to do everything. And very slowly after she started auditioning, Rico suddenly is like, I'm not shy anymore. I want to do this. So here we are. I think it's almost 20 years now. Literally, I'm not joking. And they're still with me. But it's
Wow.
crazy. Because let's just say they're very up there in the ceiling as far as age goes.
Right.
They're way up there now. So, I mean, they were a huge success. Jenna Ortega, who like the whole world knows now from Wednesday and from Beetlejuice, discovered Jenna when she was about 8 years old, and she was with us for about 6 years. And then moved to another agency. So literally watched her grow up. I'm just looking around the room like different posters, the Despicable Me movies. We've had the little girl that voices Agnes, the youngest daughter. But the crazy thing is, in all 4 films, I've had 3 actresses play the same role. And each time, like, well, the girl from the previous film's too old because Agnes is like 5, 6 years old. And the girl who did it in the first 2 films is now like 12. Didn't sound the same. We need to find a matchup. I'm looking around, I'm like, I got it. Like, get out of here. I said, I have the matchup. And surprise, and it worked. And this other girl booked the 3rd film. And then they had the Minions movie. And then they had COVID. And the 4th film got pushed a year later. And the girl from the 3rd film was sounding too old. We have to rematch again. I'm like, I don't have. A few months later, they reached out and said, we've listened to hundreds and hundreds. We can't find it. Is there anyone that 3 months ago you didn't rep, or anyone that was sick or not available? Take another look, because we're desperate. We can't find it. And all of a sudden, like, light bulb clicks. I'm like, oh, like on paper, you wouldn't think this person would be that role. But I'm like, wait a minute. And at this point, by the 4th film, kids have already seen the first 3 films. They own the DVDs. They watch them over and over. So they know the characters really well. It's like if I said to you, Bart Simpson, immediately you hear the voice. You know the voice.
Right.
So I called this girl up and said, Despicable Me? Yeah. You know the little girl Agnes? Yeah. Can you talk like her? And she's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God. Fast forward, I literally, on the wall in front of me right now, we have Despicable Me 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a little minion guy on the desk just sitting there as a reminder. The Minions have been quite good to us. This year, I'm kind of excited. 27 years doing this. First year ever, I have somebody that's the starring role in an Oscar-nominated film.
Nice.
I'm like, what? So yeah, so it's like, and he was, he was 20 years old when he filmed it. So it was like, it's called Nickel Boys. I don't know if anyone's seen it. Based on it's not a happy-go-lucky film. I mean, it's a true story. It happened in Florida. It's about a reform school where they did all kinds of bad things to the kids. Bad things, really bad things. And it wasn't discovered until many years later when they started digging up graves in the ground. They went, oh, we're finding bodies. So it was a rough story, but he stars in it. He's like the face of the movie. His name's Ethan Harisi. So got nominated for Best Picture, got nominated for a Best Adapted Screenplay. So I'm like over the moon. And Ethan's been with me since he's like 12 years old. And he's like 23 now, 24. So, but first time all these years I have someone in an Oscar-nominated film. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I know as a manager, I think the biggest excitement that I get is when I see a client that's actually, watching them on TV. Yeah. I'm sure that's probably the same with you as well. Do you?
I still get jazzed. The very first booking, whatever it is, that a commercial, a TV show, the first time I see you on a screen, I don't care if it's one line. It doesn't have to be the starring lead role. The fact that before that, your resume was blank, and now that's your first professional credit. TV, film, commercial, a voiceover, whatever it may be. Still get excited about that. We have a girl, if anyone has younger brothers and sisters, little ones, there's a show on Netflix called Gabby's Dollhouse. So the girl on the poster behind me, her name is Lila Lockhart. She's Gabby. They've done 5 seasons of the show. They're now in the middle of filming a feature film of the show. Wow. And the movie's coming out in the theaters next October.
Nice.
And she is the nicest person. Absolute sweetheart. She's the type, if she's just walking down the street and 100 kids ran up to her to ask for an autograph, she'll stop what she's doing. She'll sign 100 autographs, take 100 selfies, all with like a genuine smile. She's very pleased and thank you and grounded and great family, just lovely girl. She's 16 now, but she's been with us about 7 years, I think 7 years now. So it's cool when you see also good people that they're just good people. They're right. Appreciative. They thank their parents. They understand the importance of acting coaches and classes, and they're there to train you and get you competitive to that next level. They're the ones that when they win an Oscar, they thank them, a Golden Globe or an Emmy Award. They remember, I want to thank, that teacher, that instructor, that agent, that manager that believed in you when you first started out. When you see them succeed, that's the coolest thing. We love that.
So Gabby's Playhouse, you said, is on season 5 now?
It's on season 5. Time flies, but
You're not watching every show, right?
No, and she knows I'm not. I mean, every now and then I'll say, let me know if there's an episode that you want me to watch, because it's a kid. I mean, it's like Blue's Clues. Right. It's part cartoon characters, it's part live action. She shrinks down, gets into the dollhouse with all the other cartoon characters. I said, if you have kids that are like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, this is like the bomb. This is it. The coolest thing in the world. And like I said, internationally, it's ridiculous. She gets fan letters from all over the world.
Nice.
But just they don't know, but the kids love the show, so they're reaching out.
I just looked up her IMDb right here. It says that she's fluent in Russian.
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
Go figure. We said, we keep laughing because now she's 16, so we keep teasing Gabby's dollhouse. I'm like, do you think Gabby should get her driver's license? I'm like, no, because they wanted Gabby still young at heart. I'm like, yes, but she's 16, so she can get a driver's license and then drive to the house. And what about Gabby going on a first date? Like, no, that's not what the show is. Like, don't ruin it for the kid. They don't want little kids seeing that. She's just Gabby.
Right.
Gabby has no particular age. It's ageless.
So you're all over the place. You're working hard. You got a lot of clients everywhere. I'm sure you attend a lot of red carpets. Were you at the Grammys?
I was not at the Grammys, but I was proud. I had 2 people perform at the Grammys. Nice. I have one girl. She used to be a dancer for the New York Knicks. Not too shabby, but she's an actress as well. And she was dancing with Shabuzi. And I just like saying the name Shabuzi because that's a cool name to say. But she danced with Shabuzi. And I have another client, Ethan Jones, who's 18. And this is a little bit sadder, but the opportunity is brilliant. The reason for it sucks. He and his high school choir sang with Stevie Wonder on stage, and they were doing a tribute. And the reason he and the high school choir were on stage is that they lived in Altadena, and their high school burnt down to the ground. The whole neighborhood, everything's burnt to the ground in ash. So right. The whole show, they were doing a tribute and like fundraising for fire victims. So they kept putting on the barcode. You could scan the barcode and raise money. And all throughout, they brought on firefighters that actually were out there fighting these fires. And they brought this high school burnt to the ground, the high school choir. So he got to sing with Stevie Wonder. I said, I'm not saying, hey, your house burned down. This is great. But, your house burned down. Your school burned down. It sucks. There's nothing more you can say about it. But this opportunity you'll have the rest of your life.
Right.
You are singing with Stevie Wonder at the Grammys. I'm trying to find a little bit of light in the darkness. A house can be rebuilt. New memories will be formed. But if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be doing what you did. And he had a great time. I mean, she as well dancing, on the Grammys. They had a blast. So I got to watch it from home. but it was cool to have 2 clients in it.
I thought I saw you sitting next to Kanye. That wasn't you?
Oh, no, it was not. No, I had my clothes on.
Got it.
Oh, Kanye.
Speaking of Stevie Wonder, I was actually at an event in LA, a charity event, a fundraising event, and he showed up and performed there as well, unexpectedly. So cool. It's kind of a surprise thing. He seems to be that kind of guy.
Where's the piano? Out of my way.
Right.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Amazing. I love it. Well, what was your favorite moment or your proudest moment as a agent? Can you think back to one of them and share it with us?
I'll give one of them. Despicable Me 3. I was in Orlando. Ironically, I was in Orlando scouting at a convention, and I'm up in the hotel room on the phone negotiating this little girl to do Despicable Me 3. Now, when the first Despicable movie came out, it was this unknown French animation company called Illumination. No one ever heard of them. No one had a clue. We didn't even know, is this movie going to go into theaters? Or is this thing going straight to DVD? Back in the days when there was things straight to DVD. We just didn't know. Nobody had a clue. But Despicable Me came out, blew up. Oh my God, it was huge. When we got to Despicable Me 2, we were able to put together a really good deal for the girl. Because the first film, she was literally like a 6-year-old girl. She had no resume, she had no credits, she had nothing. Second film, we're like, look, we know what the first film did. We're all willing to gamble and bet the second film is going to grow on that, and it's going to do even better. So we put together a really good deal financially. Everybody's happy. Second film made over $1 billion. It outgrossed the first, which is very rare for a sequel. Usually any film, cartoon or live action, usually sequels make like 70 to 80% of what the first film did. But occasionally you get an exception where the second film blows up. Well, by the time we get to the third film, like, oh my God, there's no reason why it shouldn't do as well as the second film, you know. But we had a new little girl, and they wanted to basically like pay her scale. Like, no. And I said, we're not playing that. I said, it's the simplest thing in the world. You got to take the contract that we all agreed to on the second film, cross out that girl's name, put in this girl's name, and we will all sign it. Like, no. And I'm like, yes. And push. And you got to know when to push and when to, when to hold them, when to fold them. And I was like, it's the same deal. End of story. You know this film can make a billion. Let that sink in. So there's no reason why she shouldn't get something on the back end. And they finally went, and they realized I have the contracts, the same people I've been talking to for 5-6 years prior to the first and second film. Nothing's changed. They went, oh, okay. Third film came out, basically college fund is set. Yeah, that kind of a deal. It's like don't spend it all at once. Put that away and let that, she's still a little girl. Let that money just grow for you. Invest it. Be smart about it. Don't just go crazy with it. You got the Coogan account, but that's 15%. There's still a lot more there. That does, and the parents think, oh, they're grounded and smart. Like, no, they're letting it grow and they're not doing anything with it. So that particular one, the fourth film was a lot easier because even though it was another new girl, I got the same people on the phone. And we've been talking for about 10 years on the phone now, 10 years emailing each other. It's the easiest contract. You know what I'm going to say. So do I have to say it? You want the same contract as the third one? But yes. Okay. That was easy. But the third one, that was a little bit harder, pushing. That was pretty cool. The other one, now I'm going to date myself here. Older people might remember. Younger people are going to go, what are you talking about? Years and years and years ago, I want to say, I got to do the math, but maybe 15, 17 years ago, we had a Hispanic actor who was in his early mid-20s, but looked very, very young. And he has a resume. He worked. He had credits. So he was a working actor. I mean, no problem. And 2 movies came up at the same time. Nice problems to have. Couldn't do both of them. Like, we got to pick A or B. Pros and cons. Let's weigh them. One movie, first-time writer, first-time director, 0 budget. I mean, no money at all. But it's one of 2 leads. And they give you a lot of carte blanche. You can kind of create your character. Like, you have input as to what does your character sound like? What is the wardrobe of the character? How you're going to interact. But it's one of 2 leads. So it's a substantial role. But everything's money-wise is really nothing. Option number 2, big movie, a lot of big name actors in it. It's like, at the time, it was like an $80 million budget, a big, well-known, famous director. However, you're going to be wearing like a soldier's uniform, and you're going to kind of blend in with all the other Hispanic actors wearing the same soldier's uniform. I'm not saying you're soldier number 3. You have a name, you have a character, but it's not going to stand out as much. But there's money there, so there's going to be a much better salary. We'll support you either way. We're not twisting your arm saying there's no guarantees in life. What's your gut telling you? What do you want to do? He said, I want to do that small little indie film. I have the creative choices. Well, fine. Fast forward, like a year later, the movie's come out. The big budget film was Ron Howard's movie, The Alamo.
Okay.
And it's all right to laugh because like, I haven't seen it, right? Nobody saw it. Ironically, Ron Howard has an amazing career.
Right.
Biggest bomb of his entire career. Nobody saw it. Nobody cared. Bye-bye. Little indie film, Napoleon Dynamite.
No way.
Vote for Pedro. He shaves his head. He was Pedro. Napoleon Dynamite got a cult following. It grew. It was in theaters way longer than it probably should have. Made a lot more money than anyone would have dreamt of. He literally worked nonstop for the next maybe 5 or 6 years. To the point people are like, here's a movie script, read it. Nice. Oh, you're done with that film? Here's another movie script, read it. He worked. Like easily 5 years. We were turning jobs down because he was too busy.
After Napoleon Dynamite?
After Napoleon Dynamite. It blew up. It was like cultural. Everybody was wearing Vote for Pedro t-shirts. Everybody walking down the street like Pedro. Like, it was just this cult thing. It was a little indie film. Awesome. I mean, it was super, super, super low budget, you know, but on the results of what came from it, like night and day. Had he done on paper, Ron Howard, $80 million, The Alamo, yeah, that seems like that should be the winner. But we're proud because I'm not saying that I had no clue either way. It's not like I knew. I didn't know at all. I'm proud that we stood by him saying, whatever you want to do, we got your back. We're not going to twist your arm and say, you know, there are agents that would flat out say, this makes more money, do that. End of story.
Right.
It's money, money, money. Yeah. To me, we're like, no. If we're looking at building a career, sometimes it's not about the money. I know you're like, oh my God, the agent just said that. Yes. There are other times I'll tell someone, say, look, this is a commercial. It's running in Japan only for 1 year. No one in the States is really going to see it. They're paying you $10,000. That's 10,000 reasons why you should do this commercial. It is strictly the money. I'm telling you right out. You're not going to put this on a reel. You're not going to list this commercial on your resume. Work 1 day, make $10,000. Take that money, put it towards headshots, acting classes, coaching, whatever you have to do. You know, it's a money thing. End of story. And there are other times like, guess what? It's an AFI, American Film Institute, or UCLA, USC, University. It's a college film. There's no money. So I make 10% of no money. You get no money, I get no money. But it's a lead role. It's some dramatic good stuff. When everything's said and done and you get a copy of the movie, you're going to have some really good material to put on your reel. We're using that reel when we're pitching you to casting for other projects. It's a tool we can use. You don't have that much footage right now. This is a smart move, even though there's no money involved. So, I mean, if we're looking at bigger pictures, you know, and we're looking at people growing and growing, trying to build a career, it's not always just a money issue. You know, sometimes I'd rather have you do a tiny little role in a big famous project so I can name drop and say, oh yeah, I worked with Steven Spielberg. You know, other times I'll say, no, it's a student film and it's all students, so no one's famous, but I read the script. It's a good role. And I'm telling you, you're going to get footage, and that footage is going to open doors. We're going to get auditions based off that footage. So, you know, what's the pro and the con of why we want you to do something?
I have a few friends that's their favorite movie. Napoleon Dynamite.
I'm telling you, when it came out, and even when it came out, my first reaction was like, yeah, it was cute. I had no clue. I mean, if I was betting, there's no way I would have bet that it would have sort of grown and grown and grown. You know, 4 or 5 years after Fox decided we're going to do a Napoleon Dynamite cartoon series. Went, are you kidding me? And he voiced and all the actors came back. Everyone did their characters. It was on Fox. They did like maybe 8 or 10 episodes, and then it fizzled away. That was the end of it. They was like, yeah, that's fine. Next, they didn't want to see it week in and week out.
Right.
But it just grew and grew. The whole Napoleon Dynamite and Vote for Pedro, he rode that wave for a while.
So if I pull out my Vote for Pedro shirt out of my closet, do you think I can get an autograph?
You get an autograph. Dear Ethan Ramirez, please autograph this shirt.
So obviously you like movies, you like television, you enjoy the industry. What is your favorite movie?
Oh God. I could spend the next 10 hours. One of them for various reasons. One of them, I'll say Jaws. When I was a kid growing up on Long Island, my dad and I got dragged along. I was a little kid. But my dad belonged to a fishing club. And the summertime, it was like one Saturday a month. We would drive down to Montauk at the tip of Long Island, go out. There's like 4 or 5 other guys, go out and go deep sea fishing. And occasionally we caught some decent fish. Sometimes we let them go. Occasionally a fish was big enough. Oh, I want to mount this and put it on the wall. Back in the days, people would mount fish. My dad heard about Jaws. I don't know what he was thinking. He thought it was going to be like an adventure film, like, we're going to go hunt the shark, And he took me at the ripe old age of 5, took me to go see Jaws. If you've ever seen the movie, within 2 minutes, you should realize this is a scary movie because, spoiler alert, someone dies very, very, very quickly. Very quick, like within the first 2 minutes. Right there, you'd think he'd be like, oh, this isn't appropriate, and take me out. Nah, he's like, no, go. And we stayed and watched the entire movie, and it scared the you-know-what out of me. I mean, as a 5-year-old, Jaws was in the bathtub. He was in the toilet bowl. He's in my bed. I was having nightmares. I mean, Jaws messed me up for a while. My mom's like, was that movie scary? Like, she had no idea. She didn't know. There was no internet back then. You didn't know things, But it was a scary movie. But as years have gone on, ironically, I love sharks now. Like, I watch Shark Week every summer. I'm into sharks. I want to know everything there is about sharks. And B, over the years, the more I've watched Jaws, the more I've come to appreciate what a brilliant film this is. There's not one bad thing in that film. And if you ripped it apart, talk about the editing, talk about the cinematography, talk about the music, talk about the story, the acting, the direction. There's not a single thing wrong with that film. It is like a perfect, Nehemiah is a perfect film. Now I could rattle off everything from Godfather to Goldfinger.
Right.
Yeah, I like film. I could go on many, many films, but Jaws had a real substantial impact on me.
It changed your life.
It changed my life, I mean, look at it now, and I'm still like, I can't believe my dad made me sit there with him at 5. I mean, I could barely see over the seats in front of me, little 5-year-old in the movie theater watching Jaws. Parents, if you have 5-year-olds, do not let them see that movie. Very, very scary.
If mom was with you, do you think it would have been a different story?
Oh, she would have yanked us out of the theater. How do you mind? No, within that first 2-3 minutes, she would, no, we're not seeing this. Like I said, I have no idea. He really, truly thought it was going to be more of an adventure film. Like this, when the scenes shift halfway into the film where it's now the 3 guys in the boat chasing the shark with the barrels, he thought the whole film was going to be that kind of, it's an adventure movie.
Right.
I'm like, what about all the deaths beforehand? I mean, the shark's eating everything in sight. No part. Did you think we should leave the theater? He was into it. He loved the movie, but he thought I'd be fine. It took me a while to get over that.
We have some questions coming in from
Sure.
viewers. Let's address a few of these. So Penny asks, what age are you seeking? So if you're out scouting and looking for new talent, is there a typical age that you look for, or what age?
Not really. I mean, if somebody, I mean, like I said, especially if under 18, if anyone is under 18, the birthdays change so much. Like I said, January 1st, February 1st, March 1st. If you look at our list, 3 months in the past or 3 months in the future, it's always evolving. So the 12-year-old will turn 13, but maybe the 11-year-old doesn't turn 12. So from today and 3 months from today, I'm looking at different things. So we're just looking right now, open-minded for talent. If I see someone, whatever the age is, now if they're too old, if like, no, you look like you're 30 years old, you belong with an adult's apartment, we have that. So I can still take materials and share it with adults' apartments. But if I see someone that just pops, I'm like, First thing we ask all new talent if we're interested is we'll tell them, send us a self-tape, because we got to know that you're able to do a self-tape from home, record a monologue, a commercial, a scene with a partner, whatever you want. We don't care so much what the material is. We want to see that you're able to do a self-tape from home. Then we can look at our client list and go, okay, this is how old you are. This is how old you look. You could be 16 looking 14. You could be 16 looking 20. So how old are you? If you're under 18, we need date of birth. If you're over 18, not just say I'm over 18, that's all. Doesn't matter. And then we'll look at our client list and go, okay, where do you fit? Do we have a space? If we're like, it's pretty crowded there, do we think we have room that we could bring someone new on and do the job? I don't want to take someone on and then, 3 months later, like, I haven't had a single audition. That's not good. We should, if we can't get you out, there's no reason for us to take you on. So we would look at that first. But as far as like going to a scouting event, I'm open to seeing everybody. I'm not limited to anything.
Right. And you say you're looking for talent. I know that you've seen probably thousands of people, in your career, and tens of thousands, but what is it that really stands out to you? Like how do you know
All right. Okay. One thing is confidence. I'm on Zoom right now. I'm not an actor. I've never been an actor. I don't have an actor's background, but let's say I am right now auditioning for you, and I'm doing this. Hi, my name is Philip. I'm going to do a monologue for you. Right? You're like, oh God, what's
Sold.
Right.
Sold.
Okay. So own it. Be the superstar you think you are. Be cocky. I don't mind if cocky. Now, granted, if the material's sad and somber and, it's a funeral scene, I don't expect you to turn to Robin Williams and Jim Carrey jumping up and down. It's a sad scene. But when you slate, give me that energy. Hi, my name's Philip Marcus. I'm here to do a monologue for you. Thanks, whatever. Say whatever you got to say. Energy. Confidence. I want to see people having fun. Oh my God, please tell me nobody's here today right now watching the Zoom because you lost a bet. Right? Nobody's here because you're getting bad grades at school and your punishment is Saturday you have to be on Zoom and listen to this guy talk forever. You're here because you want to be actors. You want to have fun. You want to entertain. I want to see it. I want to hear it. A lot of times when I'm watching people perform on stage, a monologue or a commercial, not everyone, thank God, but a lot of times the notes I'm making are either A, look at my face right now. That face, is that guy happy, sad, angry, shy, the mean guy, the bully? What is going on here? And right now I'm purposely going blank. So you're like, I don't know what's going on here. So I'm always making notes, work on your facial expressions. Some people have great facial expressions. They're smiling, they're happy, but their voice is flat and monotone. Right? Where's your vocal expressions? Easy little exercise you can do at home. I don't care if you're 6 years old or 66 years old. Anyone can do this. Pick like a sitcom that you've seen before. You're familiar with the show. I don't care what it is. Friends, Seinfeld, doesn't matter. Pick something you've seen before. Watch an entire episode on mute. It's a silent movie. No sound, no distractions around you. Study faces. Look at the facial expressions. Look at body movement. Nobody acts like I am right now. Why am I? People move. People gesture. They might do that. They might scratch their head. They might rub their chin. They might cross their arms. They might raise their eyebrows. What are they doing? Study faces. Now do the same exercise again. It could be the same episode. It could be a different episode. This time, put on a blindfold. Now it's like a podcast. Just use your ears. Nothing else. Listen, half hour. Blindfold, there's no distractions. You're not seeing don't look at the walls. Don't look at anything else. Get rid of the light, darkness. Listen for a half hour. Listen. Nobody's talking this fast that you can't understand a word that they're saying. If they talk this fast, blah, 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 right? You have to understand the words, enunciation, crisp syllables. If I'm giving you directions, I don't say make a right, go 2 blocks, make a left. I'd say make a right. Go 2 blocks. There's an X sound. 2 blocks. Make a left. There's a T at the end. Listen to them. Why are they talking really loud like this? There must be some reason. Why are they talking really soft like this? Are they whispering, but you can still hear them? Why? They don't take a deep breath and then spit out 3 minutes of dialogue. That's impossible. You're going to literally turn blue and pass out. When do they pause? When do they breathe? Why are they doing this? Listen, 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 listen. Do that a couple of times. Not all at once. A few days later, find another TV show. Split it up. Listen. Split it up now, right? Mute the TV. Eyes only. Watch. Now, have a friend, a family member, someone on their cell phone record you doing your monologue. Do the same exercise to yourself. Be away from everyone else. Go in the bedroom. Put your own performance now on mute. What's going on here? Someone should be able to look at your face and go, you look angry, you look sad, you look happy. They don't have to know what's going on, the details, the minutia, but they should have a right. If they look at you and go, I have no idea what emotion's going on here. Something to work on those facial expressions, practice in the mirror. Do the same thing now for your own performance that someone just recorded. This time, close your eyes, crank up the volume, listen to your voice. Does your voice sound like the character you're trying to portray? If someone else walked in and just listened, could they go, you sound like an you know, you sound shy and quiet and nervous and bashful and quiet. You sound super cocky. Oh, you're the class clown. It's so obvious. Listen to your voice. You're the class clown. You do anything to get a quick laugh. The teachers hate you. The kids love you. You're the nerdy kid that's like, end of Friday afternoon, like, oh, aren't we going to get extra homework for the weekend? Everywhere other kid wants to beat you up, but you're getting that 4.0 and extra homework. You're that kid. You're the guy going on the job interview. Well, how are you in that job interview? You're 20 years old. Are you shy at the job interview? Are you cocky at the job interview? Are you confident? Whatever the character is, the way it's written, that's fine. How are you performing it? Because more times than not, when actors are starting out, they forget the combination. There's two things here. Think about when it comes to TV and film, you don't touch it, right? Has anyone poked the TV? There's no touching. You don't put your nose to the TV and sniff it. You're not smelling it. Please tell me you don't go over and lick the TV. There's nothing to taste. We're running out of senses. What's left? Sight, sound. So at home, you're watching TV and film. You're looking, you're listening. We as an audience are watching the actors on screen. We're listening, we're looking. We should be able to interpret what's going on by just listening and looking.
I love that.
There's a whole other thing now, obviously working with other actors. All right, that's a whole other thing. But I'm talking about just you doing a monologue, your individual performance. Every time when someone comes on a stage or someone sends me a YouTube clip or a video link, immediately I'm separating, I'm looking at facial expressions, vocal expressions. Oh, this person's got it. Put it all together, put them together to sell the character. Then I'm like, all right, are you having fun? Is there a little twinkle in your eye? You're enjoying what you're doing. Or are you just going through the motions like, all right, that's good enough. Okay, fine, next. Don't send good enough. If you look at it and go, I'm all right, why do you think I want to see it? If I see it and go, he's all right, why would I ever want to send that to casting and have them look at it? I want them to look at something that's going to blow them away and go, oh my God, you're right. This person's fantastic. Yes. Same thing. You need to do it again. Do it again. It's another benefit of the self-tapes. You can do it. You have to do 100 times. That's a little crazy. That's a little OCD. No one needs to do 100 versions, But if you do it once, you're like, oh, I should have tweaked that. Tweak it. Do it 2-3 times if necessary. That's about it. You don't overthink it. Don't go crazy with, oh, I should have this instead of that. I mean, if it's such a tiny little subtle thing, no one's going to know the difference. But if you just think, oh, I could have done, then fix it and then send it off.
I love that. So Jacob actually asked, what's your advice for new actors? But I think what you just said was perfect for that answer. New actors study the craft.
And training. I mean, anywhere in the world, you could relate it to athletes. It's simple enough. If you're in high school, maybe you play sports. Maybe you are. Maybe you're good enough at that sport. You're on like the varsity team. So you're representing the high school and varsity. Doesn't matter what the sport is for this analogy. Who cares? All right. Just because you play high school varsity sport, that doesn't mean you're going to go play it in college. And if you do go to college, competition's higher. You're in the gym all the time, working out. Practice. You play college sports. That doesn't mean you're going to go to professional sports. You're not going to immediately go to the NFL for football, the NBA for basketball. But if you do, oh my God, now you're in professional level sports. We're getting more competitive. You win an Oscar. That's brilliant. You're a fantastic actor. You're going head to head with other type of Oscar winners for that next movie part. It's that much more competitive. Training as much as you can. It doesn't have to be 7 days a week, 5 hours a day. Don't go crazy, but you should be in at least a weekly class. I highly recommend taking an improv class. Guess what I'm doing right now? I swear to you, no script in front of me. I'm just winging this, right? We've been talking for, an hour, whatever it is. We're just winging it. We're talking. Improv skills you will use the rest of your life. Way beyond just acting. You'll use improv skills when you're dating. You'll use improv skills when you're moving on to, a job interview, college, and beyond. Improv skills are killer. Definitely work on that. If you're in a location where you cannot do an on-camera class, then do a Zoom class like we're doing right now. Get on at least once a week, do a Zoom class. If you're in a city that offers opportunities where there's good, solid training, get into a weekly in-person, on-camera class. If you could be in person working with other actors, that will help. But Zoom is an option, and both New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, there's some very, very reputable acting schools that will also do Zoom classes as well. Improv, a little harder to do on Zoom. Improv is more of an in-person thing. But first thing that anyone looks at on an actor's resume when they're starting out is the training. Under training, make sure on your resume, special skills. List all the skills you're comfortable doing. You don't have to be an Olympic athlete. But you're like, I know how to play baseball. I've played it in school. I know the rules. I know what I'm supposed to do. Put it on there. If you're fluent in a foreign language, don't lie because you'll get called out. But if you're fluent, write down fluent Spanish. If you're learning or beginning, there's nothing wrong. No one's going to yell if you write beginning Spanish, intermediate Spanish. If you write fluent, that means you're reading it, you're writing it. Two people are having a conversation in Spanish. You could jump right in, join the conversation. That's fluent. Brag if you are. If you're not, don't put it on there. If you've taken any type of training for dance classes, musical instruments, piano lessons, guitar lessons, karate class, jiu-jitsu, put it all on there. If you have a passport, a lot of people just take it for granted, like, well, whatever. No, whatever. Passport, put it on there. The streaming services are filming worldwide. Just the last 6 months, I've had people in Seoul, South Korea, Tokyo, Japan, Sydney, Australia, Mexico City, Toronto. They're filming all over the place. So when casting emails us a breakdown, big capital bold letters will say, this is filming in southern Italy, must have valid passport, because they don't want us wasting their time submitting talent that doesn't have a passport. So right. Those that do, put it on under skills. Just write down valid passport. Easy enough. But training, number one, skills, number two, are the first two things we're looking at.
I have another question here from Joe. He asks, when are you too old to be in this business?
You never. There was a lady, I don't know her personally, but I love the story. There was a lady who was like 80, 83, 84, who decided that age, I want to become an actress. It's not like she was an actress at some point early in life, and even in high school and junior, was shy when she was young and never did it. 83, she's like, I want to be an actress. Had an amazing charactery look. I mean, there's a look when you see her go, oh. She met with an agent. Agent was like, yeah, there aren't that many 83-year-old actresses out there to begin with. So right there, they signed her. Her very first credit, we're talking credit number one. She was in, wait for it, Black Panther. She was the old lady with the crinkled face that sat on the Council of Elders. That was her first
right. In the first Black Panther?
Her first thing on paper, like, oh, we have to Taft-Hartley her because she's not a member of SAG. But when you see the movie, you go, I know who you're talking about. That, I mean, she has an old withered face. She's 83. She looks 183. I mean, she has age and wisdom and crinkles and wrinkles. And
that was her first role ever?
That was her first role ever. And,
wow,
and at 80, literally 83, I want to be an actor. You can start. There's no cutoff, I mean, occasionally you'll see TV shows, especially like hospital shows, ER, Grey's Anatomy, Chicago Hope back in the day. They need a 6-month-old baby because someone just delivered a baby and they want to show a baby in the little NICU unit. And now they got the oldest person they can find come in because he tripped and fell and broke his hip. And he's an actor, but he's 80, 90, whatever. We see breakdowns all the time where like this role is for like an 80 to 90-year-old. Yes, they act. There's no end limit. It's not like, oh, you hit the ceiling. Bye-bye. Sorry. Nope.
So Joe, it's never too late. I know that you're out there wanting to do this. Now's the time, right? Let's see. I have another question here coming in from Stevie. Says that she's 25, but looks 18. Okay. Does that work in her favor? And actually somebody else chimed in and said that she actually looks 14. So.
Okay. Number one, no need for anyone to know that you're 25 or 35 or 68. Everybody who's 18 and beyond, you're over 18. Now, granted, if you're 80 years old, we know you're over 18. No one's going to go and question. But you don't have to say, I'm 82. I'm 6. Doesn't matter. Let everyone else decide. There is a big market, and has been for decades and decades, of 18. They call TPY. It's nothing fancy. It literally means 18 to play younger. A lot of high school TV shows, from Beverly Hills 90210 to Pretty Little Liars to Gossip Girl, Vampire Diaries, Riverdale, all these high school shows where they're all 15, 16, 17. They're all 18 and beyond. Some of them you roll your eyes and go, that dude looks like he's a 30-year-old narc. He's like an undercover cop. No, he's a 16-year-old high school kid in Riverdale. Okay. Yeah. So, yes, if you're 18 and beyond, whatever that age may be, and you can play high school and you embrace it, and the way you wear, especially for women, the way you wear your hair, makeup, no makeup, the type of clothes you wear, embrace mentally, I'm 16, I'm 16. You can't think of, I'm 25 playing 16. Nope. I'm 16. I'm 16. How does the 6-year-old talk? How does the 6-year-old act? They're not as wise as a 25-year-old. They might be cockier. They might be shy, whatever the character description is. But if you embrace that and you can play younger, absolutely. Going back to that Napoleon Dynamite thing, we talked about earlier, everyone in that movie, they're high school kids. None of them are under 18. I mean, some of them are quite older than 18. And if we reached out to casting saying, I got a 28-year-old you're going to love, they'd laugh. They'd laugh at, shut up. Because it doesn't sound good. A 28-year-old, there's no way they could. I got an actor, he's over 18, so you can work the hours of an adult. Just take a look and like, oh, this kid looks like he's 16. And same thing, I have some actresses that are literally 27, 28, 29, that are playing high school. And nobody questions it. No one's rolling their eyes going, oh, give me a break. They can't walk into a bar, even though they're way past 21. I mean, literally, they look, ID, right? Then they literally walking down the street, if you just maybe go 17 years old, I'm 28. They don't need to know that. You're over 18. And vice versa. If there's a role they want a college girl. She's 18 to 22. Great, you can play that. They want, no, this is out of college. We don't have an age range, but out of college, whatever that means, and she's, it's her first job. She's working in the office building. Fine, put on some professional clothes like you're at a job, and whatever age, they're not specifying. Early 20s, whatever that means. You can be 28 and still play early 20s. Guys, I mean, it's not like wake up, go, I'm going to wear my hair this way or that. Guess what? Woo! I have short hair. That's it. I could put on a sweatshirt. Immediately I was going, he's in high school because he's wearing a sweatshirt. No, look like an older guy wearing a sweatshirt. So, but women, you understand what I'm saying. Makeup, no makeup, how you wear your hair, the type of clothes. You could play with the age range. So definitely 18 and up that can play high school, big market. There's a lot of stuff out there.
I think going back to even like the High School Musical series, right? Mm-hmm. I think by the final movie, they were all married. Some of them had kids. Yeah, they're still, in high school.
I said sometimes they pull it off well. I mean, there are some actors out there playing high school roles that people are shell shocked when they find out they're real. It's like, no way. And there are other actors where the minute you see him, you're rolling your eyes going, I mean, he just shaved this morning. Why does he have stubble at 10 a.m.? The guy, he looks like a 28-year-old man. He doesn't look like a 60-year-old, but whatever reason, they hired that person. Who knows why? There must be some reason they went with that person. But those that can pull off, playing younger have an advantage.
Yeah, embrace it while you can, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I know that we're running out of time here. I know that your time is very valuable and limited. I'm sure you're getting blown up by all your clients right now. But can I ask you one last question before we sign off today? As far as a brand new actor who's sitting here watching this today, what piece of advice would you give them that would actually elevate them above everyone else? Like, what's one tip that they can do if they're going to go in and be seen by you? What is the thing that really makes them stand out in your mind above?
Especially 18 and up. I mean, with kids, it's different. Mom and dad, school, I get all that. Let's say 18 up, though. Be proactive. You can't just sit back and go, oh, I'm going to win the lottery today. It's going to just fall into my lap. You have to be hungry. You can't just sit back and wait for things to happen. One of the things you can do, and I don't care if you're in England, Australia, Tokyo, Japan, United States, wherever you are, get on the internet. Yay, the internet. Find out within a reasonable drive, whatever you consider reasonable, from where you live, an hour, maybe 2-hour drive. Find out the colleges and universities close to you. Find out if they have a film school. What people don't realize, they kind of get confused. There's a film school. The college students in film school, they're learning everything behind the camera. They're learning how to make a film. So they're learning all the pieces of that puzzle, cinematography, editing, wardrobe, makeup, blah, blah, blah. They're not the actors in the film. A student film start to finish could be maybe 5 to 7 days. It's fast. Boom, 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 next. So in one college semester, they could easily do anywhere from like 8 to 10 student films. Find out if there are student films, who's the dean, who's this teacher. Find this out. Reach out to them. Do they ever do an open call where you can go in and meet them in person? Just introduce yourself. Sometimes they'll say, yes, maybe they're open to it. Maybe they'll say, no, I don't want to do open calls. You can't just say, thanks, goodbye. Okay, can I email you my headshot, my resume, and like a short, just a short video? It's like a minute monologue so you can see what I can do. What student film are you doing right now? And they might say, oh, we're doing one right now, but it's all about senior citizens living in a retirement home, and all the roles are ages 60 and up. Oh, okay, that's not me. You can't just say, thank you, goodbye, end of story. Keep it going. Okay, when's a good time for me to check back with you? Call me next week. Well, what's a good time? When are you in your office? Because if you're a teacher, if you're not in the classroom, you usually have office hours. So they might go, oh, I'm in my office Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Make notes. Make notes of who you spoke to. But next, whatever he says, next Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 10 a.m., call up. You don't remember me. We spoke last week, and I told you I'm an actress, and I have my headshot and resume. And when I spoke to you, you were doing a film about senior citizens, and you told me to call you back Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. So call him back. Want to see if there's anything right. I'm over 18, but I can play 16 years old. The person on the other end is going to be blown away, impressed that, oh, my God, you're paying attention. You're remembering. You wrote notes. I'm blown away. If somebody sends me an email, dear sir, I roll my eyes. I'm like, such horseshit. Don't, pardon my French, but horseshit. Don't give me that dear sir, dear ma'am. Someone else will email, dear Philip, we've never met, but I went to the website and I saw you went to University of Florida. I too went to University of Florida. I'm a Gator. That's so exciting. I recently moved to LA, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you've done your homework. You actually checked me out. I get, I said earlier, we work with young people. I get people all the time emailing me for representation. They have no clue what I do. I have people like, I've been dancing since I'm 3 years old. My resume is a mile long. Dance, 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 dance. Yes, we have a great dance department. We have a killer dance department. It's probably like top 3 in the United States. I'm not a dance agent. So why are you saying, dear Philip? And you're not saying, dear Philip, could you connect me to the right person? So I'm like, do your homework, write notes. Back to the university. If there's a student film that you can audition for, and better yet, a student film you actually do, credit on the resume, no matter what the role is, doesn't matter if it's one line, whatever, you get the credit. Get on set, do a student film, get the experience. I tell you, the difference between a student film and Steven Spielberg, only difference really, Steven Spielberg gets $100 million to play with. Student film has a script, actors, writers, director, lighting, makeup, hair, wardrobe, music. All the pieces of a big studio film are there. It's experience for everyone to learn and train. Worst case scenario, you do the student film, get the experience, credit on the resume. You're done, move on. Great, you got a new credit. Best case, when you're done, you keep in touch with the people there. They quickly going to edit. This whole student film is 5 to 7 minutes. That's it. It's a short boom, boom. It's all learning. But when they edit that film, they'll be able to send you a link for the whole film. 5 to 7 minutes. Great. Watch it. If you find there's a little nugget, just a little, it could be 30 seconds, and it's just you doing something you want everyone to see you do. As an audience member, I'm watching you in the student film. You made me laugh because you were funny. You made me cry because that was so emotional. I got choked up. You made me hate you You made me pity you because you're just sad and pathetic. You scared the out of me. Oh my God, you're a serial killer. You scared me. Oh my God, oh my God. Maybe you get to do a foreign accent. Wow, I didn't know you were Australian. I'm not. I'm from the Kentucky. Oh my God, you do a killer Australian accent. Maybe you sing a song. Maybe you do a skill set that, whatever. If you're watching that student film and there's just a little section there of something worth bragging, you can now email that to me or to anyone, agent manager, saying, I just did the student film. Cue it up to 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Tell me what you think. And I've done this plenty of times where literally I will time out myself, stop what I'm doing. Now I'm intrigued. All right, cue it up, 3 minutes, 10 seconds. I'm watching, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. I'm like, this is really good. I may back go, wow, this is fantastic. You definitely put this clip on your reel. I've taken clients that we rep. I've taken student film clips that they've worked on, taken those clips, emailed it to casting, saying, cue it up to 3 minutes and 10 seconds. What do you think? 5 minutes later, they'll email me back. She's brilliant. Yes, let's set her up for the thing you submitted on yesterday, like the paying job. So student films, but you can't just sit back. No one's going to find you. You have to find them. You have to be aggressive in that sense. We've had actors that decide they're going to start up their own TikTok, their own YouTube channel. You don't have to. People ask all the time about social media. Is it necessary? It's not necessary. If it's something you love, it's another tool to get your expression, your art, artistic whatever out there. Go for it then. Create a YouTube channel. Do whatever it is you want to do. You want to do little sketches, you and another actor friend. You're going to do goofy sketches, fine. You want to do one where you're singing because you really are a good singer and you want to sing something. Be my guest, sing. Don't feel like you have to do it because people are looking for the numbers. Oh, you only have X amount of followers on TikTok. I don't like you. No, we don't care about that. That's that tiny that's not the icing on the cake. That's like the little cherry on the ice cream sundae. I like the ice cream sundae. If I don't have the cherry, I'm fine, right? So don't think you need social media. But it's an outlet. There are people who are actors that also someday want to direct. I'm like, what are you waiting for? Like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, do you have access to a camera? It's called your cell phone. Do you have a friend from your acting class? Can you write a 2-minute little sketch? Can you direct it and learn from it? Yes, be aggressive, be on top of things, So student films, absolutely. Anything in the local community, wherever you live, if there's any, websites where they're looking for actors that you can do anything on camera, we're not judging. I don't care if it's a commercial for a local mom and pop restaurant, and the entire commercial, you're literally just sitting there with a bowl of spaghetti, and all you're doing is eating spaghetti. And the voiceover says, come to come to Mama's house Friday nights, $2 off before 6 p.m. I don't care. You did a commercial. Bravo. Get in front of the camera. Anything, industrials. I said earlier, student films. Sometimes they're filming a big project, but they're filming it in a certain location that's close to you, and they're in much smaller roles, so they want local actors. They don't want to fly someone from New York or LA, and they're filming it wherever they're filming it for like a line, a role that has 1 or 2 lines. They're local actors all over the world. They'll find them. Reverse engineer, you find them. Get creative on the internet. Do those Google searches. But those are the ones that are impressive. When someone comes in, I'm like, you've never had an agent? Nope. You never had a manager? Nope. How did you get this resume? How did you do it? I was hungry. I went online. I found this website. I sent headshot and resumes to 60 different people, and 3 of them responded, and all 3 of them led to opportunity. You're winning. You're so winning right there. But I tell you, the cool thing about the internet is the world's at your fingertips. If you have a question, Google it, right? It's there. So I know certain cities will have more opportunities. Some cities, like there's very little acting stuff around us. All right. Reach out, find out really good acting classes in different parts of the United States. New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago. Because of COVID, a lot of them opened up and did Zoom classes. You could do Zoom classes for training. Check them out. Find out how long are the classes, how much do they cost. No one legit's trying to sign you up for like a lifetime membership. They're not going to say, well, the first payment of $10,000. No, run away. Investigate, check them out, go to their websites, find out testimonials. but build your own resume. You know, you can't just sit back and go, well, until I get discovered, make it happen yourself. You know, those are the ones that impress us. Like I said, a guy like about a week ago sent this long-winded email, but it actually was a really good read. Like it wasn't like BS, and everything made sense. And I'm like, it's like really well written. And we met him. We found out that the mom and dad, they support him, but they had nothing to do with it. This kid was a 16-year-old guy. He wrote this on his own. And they were like, you wrote that on your own? Right there, the email alone, I was impressed. I'm like, You know, and then we move on. All right, can you act? You know, we move on to the other things. But think about that. You know, when you're reaching out to people, do your homework. So don't, even at the university, don't reach out, dear sir, dear ma'am. Find out who you're reaching out to. Hey, I'm trying to get in touch with Tom Smith. Tom Smith's not in his office till Wednesday from 4 to 5. Do you want to leave a message? No, don't leave a message because they don't know who you are. You're a stranger. I'm not calling this stranger back. Oh, he's in his office Tuesday, 4 to 5. Make a note. Tuesday, call back. He's in his office. You know, find out, you know, who you're talking to. So it impresses people like, oh, wow, you did a little bit of homework. You did a little research. I'm not just the voice on the end of the phone.
So to sum it up, you're saying always be looking for ways to train or to better your craft and do your research. So if I'm reaching out to you, my next email will be, Jaws is my favorite movie. And
I heard you love it. I mean, I've had people like, because there are things on the bios on our website, and I've had like, I'm a huge James Bond fan my whole life, like obsessive James Bond fan. Like I'm wearing James Bond socks. I kid you not. He's like, prove it. No, I really am. Anywho, people have reached out and said, I hear you're a James Bond fan. What's your favorite James Bond movie? Okay. And I'm like, okay, at least I get it. You went to the website, you read the bios, you did some homework. It's not the generic to whom it may concern. I am an actor. I think you're the best. I'm like, stop. You know, do that little bit of homework of who you're reaching out to. It goes a long way. People respect that. That's
awesome. Love that. Well, Philip, thank you for taking the time today. We appreciate you being here on your Saturday morning there. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for letting us pick your brain and learning a little bit more about you and the industry. And we appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one, whenever that might be in the near future, hopefully. So stay safe out there. Good seeing you and enjoy your weekend. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad you were able to join us this morning, and hope some of the things I said will resonate and some words of wisdom will help you out. All right, take care.
And vote for Pedro, everyone.
Vote for Pedro.